Hi.
Welcome. If you are watching or listening this, welcome to Vision Quest. Welcome back. If you have been listening and are coming back, thank you so much for being here. And if this is your first time being here, thank you so much. Also, and we hope that you continue to come back. And who's the we in this situation? Every time it's me. My name's Ashley Apap. And today is very exciting because I have my first guest. And for those of you who don't know what this is or just need a reminder, Vision Quest is a podcast that I wanted to be in person with a friend, that I get to go on like a really long walk with them. And we go on this like spiritual journey where I get to learn something new about this person that I care about and learn about something that they care about and just spend time together. And usually in nature was what I was going for. We can't do that right now because coronavirus is like, oh, no. So instead of doing that, today, I virtually am here with the person I would like to go on a walk with more than anyone in the world right now, but cannot because of the Pacific and I think Atlantic Ocean. I don't know which oceans, and that's just kind of showing my...
I'm gonna say the Pacific and the Indian Ocean, no?
Whoa, wait. How many oceans are there?
There's 4 oceans.
Okay, I know that the Antarctic is the one that's like closest to me, but it's not relevant in this because it's below me and you're above me.
Yeah.
So let's just, okay, there's oceans and there's land.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Yeah. There's definitely those 2 things.
And more.
There's
at
least these 2 things.
There's at least these. If there's one thing we can count on, there is at least these 2 things. One of my favorite people on the planet, one of my best friends, the light of my life.
And her dog.
It's River, everyone. It's Kelsey Duvauchelle. And her beautiful dog, River.
Come on,
Riv. Come on.
Come here.
If you're listening, you might be able to hear the cute little bark.
Her face is so funny. I don't want to move my laptop because of the microphone thing, but
that's okay.
She came postmating with me, so she's very tired, but she hears all the sounds, so she's like, Moo.
She's like,
Moo.
She just did it back to you. That's so cute. There's only a few people that know this, but River's real voice is like this. She says her trademark quote is,
"No,
I didn't want to get married." Because she doesn't want to get married.
Because she's a teen. She's 14.
Yeah, she is. My mom just knocked on the door when I told her, please don't knock on my door for the next hour. And that's what it's like living at home. She says hi back, but not right now because this is professional time. Mom, I'm a professional.
I'm a podcast, Mom.
Get off my podcast, man.
You make me some snacks, Mom.
Ma'am, I want some cheesy puffs. So, first things first, let's get into some just brief background of us. We have been friends for 7 years. We met in 2013.
Wow. Yeah.
At university in Melbourne, Australia, where I am. And you were on exchange, and we just fell right in love. And then you came back for like every year for a couple of years. And then I was like, hey, in 2017, when I moved to LA, I was like, hey, when are you coming back to Melbourne? Like, I want to see you before I move to LA. And you're like, oh, I can't come back to Melbourne because I too am moving to LA. And we're like, whoa. And then we're like, why don't we live together? And then we did, and it was great.
An experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
definitely.
definitely
You and I together was like A+.
Well, what I loved about it was that we did have our like moments of growth.
Of course.
Where, yeah, you know, when 2 friends who in theory should live together well do it in practice, it doesn't always work out the same.
No. And I think if it was to happen now, it would be a lot smoother.
Yeah. But I think also we're both in places where Well, me personally, I don't think I could live with anybody right now.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm way too comfortable being alone.
And I live with my parents, as we know. So that's just.
But that's due to the pandemic. It's not because of any sort of personal failure or anything. You say that like it's a shame of yours.
There's
When
nothing
it
more
shouldn't
shameful
be.
than living with people you love and who support you.
Who brought you into this world? No.
Yeah, well, I mean, my dad didn't bring me into the world.
He helped.
He helped, but he didn't shit me out of his vagina.
I was shat out of my mom's vagina.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Not your mum. Mine.
That would make us blood related.
That would be nice, but impossible.
Aww.
Okay, first, I just want to ask you the questions that I will be asking every guest. And just answer them how you feel appropriate. So the first question is, what did you want
can we start like walking, like, let's go on, let's start on our walk, let's just to get our bodies moving. We've been inside all day. I haven't, but I've, it's good to move your body, man.
Okay, so question 1, what did you want to be when you grew up, when you were little, and why do you think that is?
Okay. I've been thinking about this a lot since you sent me the questions. And, I think I wanted to be a lot of different things. This memory came to mind really clearly was I wanted to make music. And I wanted to like tour and like be a singer and be nominated for Nickelodeon Kids Choice Awards and get slimed, be on like Yahoo Music doing covers of stuff. And when we were really little and all we had was Yahoo Music and there was no YouTube or like anything.
That wasn't a thing here.
Yahoo Music wasn't a thing?
If it was, I didn't know about it.
Oh my gosh. Maybe it was only a thing for me because I don't think I know anybody else who would like watch their favorite bands on Yahoo Music.
I have a lot of music that I like ripped from YouTube that has like the Disney radio at the end of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes. Oh yeah. And that's another thing I wanted to do is I wanted to record like you're listening to, I don't know, Jams 98.1, which was a radio station in Hawaii that played like mainland music, like not local music. And I was like, I want to record, I want to be that famous for my music and stuff. And I remember this so vividly because I wanted to, I designed the cover and like the back of what my album sleeves would look like.
I did that too.
Yes. Okay, great. Oh my God. But it was good to imagine being a pop star and being that like, that level of awesome. I think that's pretty crazy because I never thought that would ever be like something I should ever pursue.
And it is now what you're doing.
And now it's like, yeah, something that I actually want to do. So, and I still think it's kind of like a pipe dream, but I'm just manifesting that it's going to be more than that if I work hard at it,
It will. You're very talented. If anyone's listening, follow Kelsey's music page. What's that handle exactly? Because I'm scared I'm going to miss an underscore or something.
It's ruin.m.e. My stage name is Ruin Emmy. And little fun little play on words because I make very introspective, sad boy music. So that's the brand, baby.
And why do you think that's what you wanted to do? Because it's just because it still is what you wanted to do? What you want to do? Present tense?
No, I mean, like, I think how everybody wants to, like, have that life, like, doesn't it seem like making music and being able to play it in front of huge crowds and have crowds know the words to your songs and sing it with you and vibe with you and have that resonate and do that for your entire life? Doesn't that seem like the best job in the world? I think the whole thing about music making and creating stuff, and it's all about the performance for me. Like having that sort of relationship with people who identify with what I'm saying. Because like I was saying before, is I make really introspective stuff because I want someone to identify with those feelings. And I would very much like to know that I'm not alone, and that the words that I'm putting out will help somebody else feel less alone too.
Yeah.
And if I just do a show and one person is like, yes, that's my jam, that's exactly how I feel, then I would know that it's not for nothing,
Yeah, that's true.
So far, only friends and family are like, you're so talented. And I'm like,
if I was friend or not friend, I would be like, because you're so good. Next question is, what is your favorite thing about yourself?
I think my favorite thing about myself is to take a step back from a situation and look at it logically.
You're very good
I didn't realize that. Yeah, I didn't realize that was like a life skill until a lot of my friends would kind of not listen to my advice, and I'd be like, why aren't they understanding this from this perspective? Because it's so easy for me to do. Yeah, I feel like it just helps me empathize with people in situations that I've never even dreamt of being in.
I believe that, agree with that, see that, respect that, love that. If you're listening and you can't see,
we're just walking.
We're walking again.
We're on a walk. We're on a
I'm kind of like Kath and Kim dance. What's it called? Speed walking, and Kelsey's like sexy dancing, and I'm like.
I mean, I'm just moving my shoulders. Yeah.
That's the sexiest thing you can do. Didn't you know shoulders are the sexiest part of the human body? All right.
Yeah, that's why schools want to cover that shit up so bad. They're like, don't show your shoulders, ladies. They're so dangerous.
They're like, pants, don't worry about it. Bras, naked from the shoulders down. Just shoulders.
Absolutely no shoulders. If you show up with just shoulder pads, that's a-okay. Listen to us. We make the rules.
That'd be fun if we made the rules. Next question is, what's your favorite feeling? But it can be like an emotional feeling, like I like when I feel happy, or it can be like I like when I feel sweaty, or like I've accomplished. It can be a physical thing or an emotional thing.
Man, you know what I like? When you get your food, right, whether you make it or you order it or whatever, and it's like the perfect amount of food, you don't feel too full and stuffed, and like now you gotta lie down and recover from that meal, and it's not too little where you're like, now I need a snack. It's like the perfect amount of food, and you feel energized, but you also feel like, content. You're like, I can just go about the rest of my day now, man.
Yes, I love that. And I feel like both of us have recently changed our diets a little bit to eat more stuff, I think, that will make us feel that way. So I feel like, yes, I identify with this.
Definitely. Yeah. Oh no, there's a dog barking down the street. Rivers. I think she wants to say hi.
If you're listening to this, thank you, but you should really go to the YouTube channel and watch this so you can see Riv, because there she is. Hi, Riv. I love you. I love you, Riv. She's gone. But you know what? We persevere anyway. Okay. What's your favorite song to cry to is the next question.
There are so many. I used to have a playlist dedicated to like staring out the window and crying.
Yes, I do too.
There was this song in middle and high school that I was just like obsessed with, and I would cry to it all the time. I would fall asleep to this song like in tears, on purpose, And okay, so the song is called I'll Be Right There, and it's by a band called Goodbye Elliot, and they're this like punk band from Hawaii. They're from the Big Island, And my roommate in middle and high school they were from the Big Island too. They showed me this band. I was like obsessed with them. I was like, they're so good. They're so quirky. And then this song came out, I think, when we were in high school. So it was like their sophomore album. It's like a very, whatever, easy sort of tune. And it just builds and swells. And there's this like orchestral building until the end. And then the song ends and there's kind of this interlude with just the orchestra. And it crescendos and crescendos, and then it just drops. And what they play as the intro to this album, which I think is called Running to California, begins again at the end of this
I love when that happens in a song.
Oh, me too. And it's like the album is such a journey. So I think that song, like, I'm just getting chills thinking about it. It was so good. Yeah, I love when an album does that. It just takes you places. And I loved that song so much. I ended up reaching out to them in my first year of college to make my first short film so that I could use their song in my short film.
That's amazing. Did they say yes?
They were like, yeah, oh my gosh, of course. I was like, oh my God, I'll send you paperwork right now. You know, when you hear a song, especially one that makes you cry, and you're like, you build a whole scene around it, right? I got to build that scene.
That's so nice.
Because they let me use their song. Oh my God, yeah. That's a really good one. Add that to your sad crying in the shower playlist, because
I'm going to make a playlist with all of the songs of the guests.
Yes.
All of the crying songs as I go along. So yes, definitely. Okay, next question is, who's someone you admire?
Oh, okay. You know what? I feel like everyone's going to say this, but like my mom, right?
I didn't say that for my one. But I'm going to be re-answering the questions every now and then. So as I update. So
of course.
I have multiple.
There's a lot of people. Yeah, exactly.
And you'll have multiple opportunities too, because you're definitely not going to only be on this once. So your mom is the best.
Oh yeah, in like so many ways. Just like not only in her career and her, family life and how she cares for people. She's just like such an inspiration, but also like how open she is about just being human to me. You know how people are like, your parents are superheroes. It's so crazy when they start to become human. It was never like that with my mom. My mom's always been like things are hard right now, and this is why, and this is what I'm doing to be better. And she has gone through a lot in her life, and she didn't feed it to me all at once. She kept them as like little bits to feed me when I was going through something similar. And to know that she, like everything that she's had to endure in her life, and she is still like the kindest, open-minded, like willing to learn and grow and see the good in people type person.
Yeah.
What more could you ask for? An inspiration.
And she's like very generous and very kind and just the best. We love you. We love you, Sandy.
We love you, Mom. We love you, Mama Kanga. I'm Baby Roo.
Yeah. In a little pouch. We have 2 more questions. Number 1 out of the 2 is, what's some weird kid shit you used to do?
I used to compulsively lie and not realize that what I was saying was not true. So my parents had to put me in like a special therapy class because I full on thought when I was like in kindergarten that I had a sister and her name was Belsey.
I had a similar. I knew this family that had sisters named Julia and Juliana, and so I was like, okay, Ashley is shortened. My name is Ashleyanna, and I was like, that's what it is. That must be what it is.
You thought your name was Ashleyanna?
Yeah, and I would go around and be like, yeah, no, my Ashley's actually short for Ashleyanna.
Oh yeah.
And I thought that was what it was. That was the logic that I made. So,
oh my
similar.
goodness.
I mean, I didn't fabricate a sibling, but.
Oh my gosh. When everyone asked me where she was, I told them that she died. Like and I full on believed that in my head. I was like, she died. Like I had trauma from it.
I'm sorry
And
to
it never
laugh.
happened.
I'm sorry.
No, it never happened. There was nothing, but my body was just like, yeah. So you know how when people are like, you can pass a polygraph test if you like really believe it. I feel like I could have passed a polygraph test. Like you could not catch me in a lie because I believed that it was real. It was disturbing. I don't know why.
I wonder where that came from. I bet you like watch a TV show where something like that happened and you're like, me too.
That's me.
Yeah.
That's a bit of
Okay. Last question. Do you think aliens are real?
Most definitely.
Go on.
First of all, the universe is way too big to just be us.
Yeah.
So, and secondly, I don't know whether or not there are aliens here on Earth because to me, I feel like we're pretty primitive. You know, like the human mind's pretty complex, but if other species have evolved past this, looking back at us would be like, what's the point? That'd be like us looking at amoebas and being like, what else can we learn when we already know everything about it? Yeah, but I also like don't know because there's, you know, this world alone is so huge.
I've never considered, which I mean is really dumb. I think now that I think about it, I've never considered, are there aliens on Earth? I've just been like, yeah, there's definitely aliens like outside of Earth.
But they might also be here. I mean, the Area 51 thing is like too big to ignore, you know?
Whoa.
But that's a good question, Ashley. I feel like whatever people answer, that's so telling to their personality.
Yeah, that's what that was my kind of my thought. And also like I think about it constantly. And if you listen to the episode where I answer the questions, you'll know this. But if you didn't, go back and listen to it right now or watch it. Thank you. Like and subscribe. I basically say like, it's the grounding thing from it, like grounds me so much when I'm just like, oh, we are not important. It's fine. We're just ants to aliens. Like we don't matter. Calm the down. You basic bitch is what I tell myself.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to be reminded that your life is so small.
Meaningless.
Yeah.
But not really. Because there's so much.
I mean, like for anxiety-ridden people, I feel like it's a good reminder that this, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God, Ashley, I think I really needed to hear that. I just had this like warm, like energy flow over me. I feel like I'm gonna cry.
Imagine what this would feel like if we were outdoors walking. We would both be sobbing.
Yeah, we'd be holding hands. We'd be like,
yeah, definitely, and like swinging them and being like, do.
So weird. This is so weird. Okay,
we've been apart for like 6 months, yet we're like, how is this possible? How are we not in the same room? Are you okay? Are you gonna faint?
Oh no, I'm fine. I just think it's so great. I've been like really I mean, like, I don't know if this has anything to do with it, but I've been like meditating a bunch and working on manifesting things because I found it really does help improve my mood if I do it at the beginning of the day. And it's been really good, but I've been feeling a lot of anxiety for the last 2 or 3 days now, like having trouble sleeping and stuff, and then not being able to figure out why.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was how my parents are like, you need to figure out what you're gonna do with your money and maybe you should move home. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that. I feel like I can stick it out here, but I don't know. I kind of had, I don't know where the anxiety is coming from, because if it's that, you know, it's something I can work through and look at logically. So I just don't understand where it's coming from.
Well, I mean, there is also a pandemic still happening. I think like that's ever present in our minds. And even when we figure out a way to be like, okay, well, that's happening. I don't need to worry about that and deal with other things. It's still happening. And it's still possible that that's causing anxiety in the background that we're not even realizing.
Yeah. And I think maybe it's just all coming to the front, especially because a couple of days ago, we both told each other that we don't think it's even going to be over by next year.
Yeah.
So it's hard, I guess, to admit all of that too.
Yeah. It's so weird to be like, most of the time that we've known each other, we've been like in a long distance friendship. But
yeah, that's true.
But
oh my God.
in the last like 3 years, we haven't gone more than probably like four days without seeing each other.
Yeah, after we moved
Actually,
out, we still saw each other a bunch.
yeah, except for like the month that I'd randomly be back home or you'd be in Hawaii.
Yeah.
But we like talk every single day. And it's
Yeah.
sad
And
and
it's weird
scary to
we
be like,
don't.
we don't know when we're gonna be able to cuddle and go for
No,
a
for
real
real.
walk.
I was going, this is like for the audience. I mean, you already know this. I was going on like dates last week or the week before, and they kept asking me about my friends. And I was like, because this person has like a tight knit group of friends. He sees them all the time. And I'm like, all of my friends have moved away. Literally all of my LA friends are gone. So I think, yeah, I was just feeling extremely alone.
Oh my God.
Just realizing that I have like no one out here.
If I could be there, you know I would.
Oh, girl, of course I know you would. I'd be there for you too.
Still sad, but I'm just shifting gears. Keep things light.
It's
This is a light
blinding. It's so light. Oh my gosh.
Actually,
Yeah.
right there is blinding. It's sunlight.
Yeah.
Right now it's 9:54 a.m. And the blind is closed, yet this is still happening.
Can you see any rainbows?
No, because the blinds are closed. Should we see
The
what it looks
blinds
like open for a second?
Sure.
Let's see. Let's show the people.
Oh my God. The exposure on this bus.
Yeah. See, it makes things a bit weird. No, you can't see any rainbows.
Can you? Where you're standing?
Yeah, I can see a couple rainbows. You know, I'll take a video of the rainbows and then I'll put it into...
Put it right over the overexposed area because holy shit. I'm blinded by the light.
Okay, so we are going to talk about your topic. So take it away. The floor is yours. Let's do it.
Okay. I'm super excited to talk about this. I feel like I've been thinking about it a lot recently, especially because, like I said, I feel very alone. So I spend a lot of my time on social media because I miss my friends. And that's the only way I could talk to them. But I'm also super into BTS. And this is a huge part of why their fandom is successful. So today's topic is going to be parasocial relationships.
Okay.
I purposely didn't do a whole bunch of research on it. I think Ashley and I kind of know the same amount of knowledge about this topic. We recently watched a video about Shane Dawson, may his career rest in peace. Or not.
Did we actually watch the same video but by accident?
I think so. Was it this British guy?
Yeah, his YouTube channel is Corviday, Korviday.
You know, I don't know. But he has light hair, and he was talking about how Shane Dawson parasocially groomed his audience.
Yeah, our algorithm is in sync. Love that for us.
It's because we watch the same 3 YouTube commentators, and then we keep getting the same sort of recommendations on our feed because we love them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Ooh. Whoa, 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 yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that one. I always forget that one.
The sad one.
I wanted to talk about parasocial relationships because I just had this conversation with Isabella about how BTS, for those of you who don't know, is a Korean boy band. They blew up in America in 2017 and have just since kept freaking going, man. The train has not stopped, even amidst a pandemic. They have new music coming out in like 10 days. It's
crazy.
But a big part of it is because they are so kind to their fans. They interact with them on social media a lot. There is, I think it's just specific to Korea, but an entire sort of like fan cafe where fans mostly just talk to each other, but the band hops on and they comment on people's posts and they like laugh with them and post pictures and you know, whatever, you know, you have inside jokes with these guys, you know? And I think that that's crazy because it elicits this kind of like, oh yeah, they're my friends, but I have never met them in my lives. Like I have more than one. And if I were to meet them, my body would shut down. My body would legit be like, I don't know. And I would start sweating and then faint. Like, what is that? Like, I will literally do anything for these guys. This makes
with the Jonas Brothers, yeah.
no sense. Yes, just like you with the Jonas Brothers. And like that video was pointing out for Shane and his fans. So what I was talking about with was so because they're Korean and they're still young men, they have to enlist in the army before they turn 30. And because BTS is super close knit, a lot of Korean boy bands end up like continuing to make music and promote and have one member kind of like go at a time so that they can stay active. But a lot of us think that Jin, who's the oldest member, is going to enlist, and then they're all going to enlist because they can't imagine doing this without him, you know? But I was saying that I think that this will be a good thing for us as fans, like ARMY, because like a girlfriend and, you know, they're our boyfriends. We need some freaking space from them. Are you kidding me? They post stuff every day. We are overwhelmed with content. And you know how much time I spend looking at photos or watching like videos of them? Hours, Ashley. Hours.
You have like sticker packs and photo packs and posters that when we lived together, you got like all these posters, and I was like, oh, you can like put them up. And you're like, no, like I'm not putting them. It's like you have all of this memorabilia that's like so precious to you, you won't even put it anywhere.
It's ridiculous. It's so stupid. I've never been this obsessed over anything. Maybe Switchfoot, but it was because I wanted to be them, you know?
And because they dared you to move.
Mm-hmm. And I did. I moved so hard. They
and
were like,
okay,
like, stop.
We're walking again.
Yeah. This is a walk. For those of you listening, this is a walk. Don't watch the video. We're definitely walking.
A walk.
Just kidding. You should watch the video to check our facts. Make sure we're not lying to you. You know.
Yeah, to prove it. I really was
also to see the rainbows. For the peeps who like rainbows.
Hey, if you like rainbows, give this button a thumbs up. If you like rainbows, comment down below and say,
I like rainbows.
I like rainbows. Or hashtag rainbow baby. Hashtag let the rainbow come down and wake my dreams.
Hashtag let the rainbow come down and wake my dreams.
Let it wash away my sanity. Oh, I want to feel the thunder. I want to scream. Let the rainbow come down. I'm coming clean.
I'm coming clean. Hashtag I'm coming clean.
Hashtag come.
Or if you don't like rainbows, just tell us you don't like rainbows.
Yeah, if you don't like rainbows.
This is not a rainbow specific podcast.
Yeah, we want to be inclusive to everyone. And that's people who don't like rainbows. Give us a thumbs up if you don't like rainbows. And comment, I don't like rainbows, hashtag rain, no. River obviously hates rainbows. Look at her feet. Oh, big yawn.
There's a squirrel on the telephone wire.
Outside.
Yeah, so she's like angry.
So what do you think is like the most positive thing about parasocial relationships, and what do you think is the most negative thing?
I think the most positive thing is that you feel like you're not alone. Like you feel like these people understand you, and the reason that you identify so strongly with their work is because they're dope people. And to know that there's dope people in this world is really comforting when celebrities and other people who people look up to don't always like align with what you believe in or seem like people you would necessarily be friends with. It feels good to have somebody who's so public also be so like down to earth, you know?
Yeah.
I think that's pretty cool. However, obviously the most toxic thing is that you think you're friends with these people and you don't even know them.
And I think it would be scary to be those people and having all these people think that they know you and really they don't at all.
Yeah, dude, Halsey wrote a whole song about that. Yeah, because she's really close with her fans as well. But there's a lyric that says I know you think you love me, and one day you will find that person, but it's not me.
Wow.
And I was like, oh my God. Poor Halsey, because she loves her fans, dude. She loves them so much.
Yeah.
She's so grateful for them.
And she's on that level of famous where, sorry for all the Facebook notifications. She's on the, it's Georgia. It's my friend Georgia Firth just telling me about her day, which I appreciate and love. So let's just keep it going. I think as well, like a part of it that is weird is like right now, especially, at least in Melbourne, like we're still in stage 4 lockdown. We can't leave our houses except for like necessary reasons. So no one's seeing their friends anyway. And I definitely have been like watching the YouTube videos that we watch. Like we watch a lot of Curtis Connor, Drew Gooden, and Danny Gonzalez.
Woo! My favorite, my boy, Danny boy.
Yeah, they're all so funny. I feel like I identify most with Curtis because like he watches his old videos and he's like, this is so bad. He's like, this is so bad. Oh God, I suck. And I'm like,
you guys talk really similarly too. Like your vernacular and your inflections are also very similar.
That's true. Which is the reason why you watch these things and you're like, this is my friend.
Yeah.
And like,
because it feels like someone that you would hang out with.
Yeah. And like, if we were in a normal situation and we met these people, we probably would be able to get along with them really well. And that's normal and cool. And I don't think we're at all having like an unhealthy relationship with these things that we watch. But it's very easy to see how for young kids, especially, that would be so dangerous to have them like identify with someone or look up to someone and admire them and then be like, this person is like everything to me. I mean, when I was 12 or 11 and High School Musical came out, the summer of 2006 into 2007, man, I set myself the goal of watching High School Musical 3 times a day, every day.
You set that goal for yourself.
I set it for myself, and I did it for about 3 weeks. I watched it like 43 times or something in that summer alone.
Everything makes sense now. You know that movie like front to back, man.
Yeah. And so I should, because I wasted enough time memorizing it. But I was I have an obsessive personality for sure. And like, I also love the band Hanson a lot. And when I was around the same age, I was so obsessed with them that like, I was like, I just like would write their names on my like school diaries in highlighter and just like draw pictures of them all the time. And like, I would, my friend and I remember, I have a vivid memory of us on my trampoline in my backyard planning our weddings. I was going to marry Zac Efron. She was going to marry Corbin Bleu. And we planned a tandem wedding and we just talked about our lives with them and our futures. Never mind that we were like 11 and 12 and they were what, like late teens, early 20s at the time, which is fucked up enough. And I don't think anyone in High School Musical, any of the actors or like, I don't think they were doing anything to make like anything weird, like the social grooming, like Shane Dawson or anything. But, but I think.
Well, I mean, that content wasn't something that they were creating themselves, you know?
No,
so that's the difference.
Yeah. And I think, but on that level, and that's just like being a fan of a normal, you know, mainstream media kind of thing. It must be so damaging for kids to be watching content that people create themselves and being influenced by it.
Yeah. I think about a lot of the kids who are like in small towns, you know, that they feel really misunderstood and they turn to the internet for their friends because you can do that now. Yeah. And
well, you could do that when we were teenagers, but I think it was a different.
I could not.
Landscape. Tumblr? You didn't have Tumblr?
No, I went to a private boarding school where they monitored everything that we could looked at. okay, I don't know if you've ever heard of chicken in the VNC.
No. What?
So this was like a app or something, software that they installed in everybody's laptop because they gave us laptops at this school. It was a very good school, very fantastic education, state of the art stuff, whatever. Definitely grateful I went there. But because they had this thing called Chicken in the VNC, they were able to watch everything that you were watching on their laptop. So they could like, it was like a screen recording of my screen, and they could just sit there and watch it. They could see who
Whoa.
you were messaging. They could see what kind of photos you were taking. They could see like
Did
who
people get
you're.
expelled for things that they have on their computers?
Yeah, dude. People got expelled. I got in a lot of trouble because I mean, like I said, my situation. There was somebody I wasn't allowed to be talking to for good reason. And I got in a ton of trouble for talking to him because I thought I was being so smart using like a Express VPN type thing and using like AOL Messenger, like Omegle or something like super third, fourth, fifth party.
Yeah, especially
But they were
back
just
then.
looking at,
That was
yeah,
like high tech.
yeah. And they were just like looking at our screen the whole time anyway. It didn't matter.
Whoa.
It
I
was
didn't
like,
have that kind of supervision, yet I didn't do anything. I was just boring and just like,
I was pretty boring too. I just wanted, to see things.
yeah.
I
I mean,
just,
who
I
did?
just wanted to have a Facebook.
I feel like I like made a lot of friends on Tumblr, and that was like, which could have been, and I know a lot of people who had really scary negative experiences with like making online friends and like being catfished and horrible shit.
Yeah.
But I like
See, that's why I feel like now it's a lot safer because most of the kids you are meeting online are kids,
well, I
and
mean, I think there's that could be true, but I feel like there's another aspect to it where kids have more access to more on the internet than they ever have before. But it seems like kids know a lot more and have a lot more access to what's on the internet now than ever before. I don't know if that's because parents are just more focused on other aspects of their lives, or kids are smarter with technology because they use it not just at home, they use it at school for like everything, that they know how to just get around things now. There would be a catch-22. Like, for example, I have a little cousin who's 9 who watches a lot of YouTube and watches like the Ace Family and shit, where it's these like families that prank each other and do really weird, questionable, potentially harmful things and teach kids that that's like normal. And now like when she talks to me, she's always like, hi, like welcome to my YouTube channel, and says like the intro to a YouTube channel being like, smash that bell notification and don't forget to subscribe, which is like funny and cute. But I'm also like, what else is just subliminally in her brain?
the Ace Family is not a good channel to watch, and I think that her parents should sit down and watch an episode with her and see that and make that decision for themselves.
Yeah,
because they are extremely problematic, just like outside of their YouTube as well. Like, because they're kids, they don't realize that this is very different from real life, but they're presenting it as it is real life.
Yeah, and that's the part I think of today internet that makes it scary to me for kids now.
Well,
like, even though you'd think that they would be smarter because it's more ingrained in them, and the like security online is a lot better than it was when we were younger, it seems like kids are going to find a way to watch shit that they shouldn't be watching regardless.
well, with that example, with what you gave with your cousin, is I think that for stuff like that, that's definitely like a parent should be seeing what their kids are consuming online, even if they are really smart and really independent. I think it would be a wise decision for parents to do that. My parents did that to me too. And like, we were never allowed to watch Adult Swim, but because we weren't allowed, we really wanted to watch it. But they would come and like, we would find ways around it. We would go there to like watch Adult Swim and then punch in the number for Disney Channel and then be able to hit the back button on the remote like
Yeah.
as soon as we heard them coming into the room, but they would continue to come into the room. So we would never be able to watch like a whole episode, you know, we were never able to watch everything in context.
They absolutely knew what you were doing.
Yeah, definitely.
Why do kids think they're smarter than their parents? Like,
oh, because we're kids.
So funny.
Because we're dumb.
If I ever have kids, I can't wait to just be in the other room like this dumb idiot. Like, what this kid thinks? This kid's like, I'm a genius.
So funny. But for today, I don't know if that it's true that parents aren't taking the time to like censor what their kids are watching anymore because, you know, they have other things going on, and maybe that is a part of it. But I think there's a way to still do that, you know, and for it to be healthy and not like super restricting, you know. I don't know if I could take back all the super adult stuff that I learned when I was like 14, I would, man.
I think there's a big difference, especially between like people our age and a little bit older that are like parents or becoming parents or will become parents versus like our parents, and like the level of kind of understanding and like analytical thinking about all of this stuff and trying to make sure that like you are aware of everything, how everything you see and consume affects you, because we've been from the generation that has like been consuming media our whole lives, and like we've pretty much had the internet all of our lives, and we've seen the way that's changed and the way that people have changed with it, and like people's attention spans, people's self-esteem based on things like how many followers you have and how many likes and things like that. Like that wasn't a concept until we were like teenagers. So I think we have this unique perspective where we see both sides of it. I think that's going to be very helpful, like if we were to have kids or, you know, in any way influencing children. Another weird side of it where then there's also like helicopter type, like it can go either way where you're like really censoring this stuff or not enough. And it's like, how do we find this balance? I worry that like kids today are just so exposed to everything. They don't have that perspective of like life without the internet. Parasocial relationships are inevitable.
But that's the thing, right? It's like, you know, I know kids who are being raised by their parents that don't allow them to go on like YouTube and stuff. And even then when they watch YouTube, it's not like content creators. It's just like kids shows on YouTube, you know? So I don't know if I don't think that they're creating these parasocial relationships because they're not interested in that kind of content. Yikes. Man, I keep thinking about that Ace Family thing, man. I really think your cousins need to like sit down and watch that because they don't make it's under the guise of it for kids, but it's not really content for kids, dude.
No.
It's like
it's the same as that like Morgs guy and like all these YouTubers that our boys, our online friends who we have parasocial relationships with, like exploit.
have critiques in the past.
Yeah. It's all this weird content that's just like they're saying is funny, but it's not.
Do you hear that?
No, what is it?
It's our ice cream truck.
Ice cream truck. When we lived together, there was an ice cream truck that played Do Your Boobs Hang Low? I love that. Oh man, I miss living in like an actual city where there's other people around and things like ice cream trucks and good food you can get delivered.
Yeah, everything you said is just like the best parts of LA right now in this pandemic. Otherwise, it's extremely lonely and isolating and hot, and nobody's taking the shit seriously, and that's extremely frustrating.
Yeah.
So you have your give and your takes, you know, you got your gives and your takes.
Yeah. It's so weird to think of it like from the perspective of like kids and things like that, because that must be so daunting to be a parent today and have to be like, there's so many ways that my kids could be f***ed up by things outside of your like control. Not that you should be controlling, but like outside of your grasp as a parent. And that's why it's good to be childless in 2020. It's so easy to see where the like line between normal people and like these personas that you kind of not make up in your head, but like that evolve throughout watching or listening to someone who's in the public. Like even obviously I've seen the Jonas Brothers documentary like 70 times now. And there's a moment in it where after the whole purity ring thing comes out, Nick is talking about how he's like a sports fanatic and he would go to sports games and everyone would be booing him. And he was like, as a sports fan, it was like heartbreaking because he's like, I'm just like you. Like there's nothing about me just because I'm like a famous person or whatever. And the media has made them seem like these weird purity ring people, whatever, the whole thing with South Park. He's like, I'm just a human being. I'm just a normal human being who loves sports. And you're like making me feel unwelcome somewhere where I like to be. So there's like the flip side of like people really loving you and thinking that you're like so close with them and have this special bond that.
Yeah. So now we're edging into the territory of like fan toxicity.
Yes.
And fan culture in general, which is a whole nother topic for another day, because like going back to BTS, we could just dissect how toxic ARMY can be on its own. ARMY is BTS's fan base. Every K-pop group has like a name for their fan base, and it's ARMY for BTS, even though I feel like any sort of like huge fandom can be described as an ARMY, you know? I think that's crazy and confusing now because we really are scary, you know? But in terms of like the parasocial relationships, I feel like when I was getting into BTS, I spent like significantly less time talking to my real friends unless it was about BTS.
Ooh.
And that's like the negative side of a parasocial relationship too, because there's this period of time where you want to know everything about them and you really want to see their personalities and you want to make sure that you're standing a good person, you know?
And it makes you feel like you're part of something bigger because they are like, I don't know if this is the same for you, but like, you know, especially if you're like from a small town or from somewhere where you feel like you like don't fit in, having someone who like represents something that you care about, who is like successful and like doing all these big things. And you're like, yeah, that's what I feel. You feel like you're a part of their world and you like make your world shrink. And in reality, your world is the people that are actually around. And it's like closing off your real universe for this like one that's kind of mostly in your head.
Yeah, I feel like that's a part of it, especially for younger children in that sense, when they feel like they don't have any friends in real life, you know? It's very easy to lose yourself in a parasocial relationship with online people and fandoms. And what I found really interesting about, like, once I've started to get closer to like considering myself ARMY and diving into like the BTS Amino and the fan cafes and stuff and interacting with other ARMY, I realized that we all have like slightly different ideas of who we think these people are. And that just goes to show that like we do not know these people.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how, like we really have to drill that into our minds. We do not know these people. We have never met these people. They're like, and the main takeaway from all of this is that we should not be passing judgment on who these people are and what they're doing with their lives, because at the end of the day, we know so little. Even though BTS has shown us a lot, we know so little about their lives and what's actually going on. For ARMY in particular, ARMY will fight day and night about like what kind of person Namjoon is. It's like, we love them, we support them, stream their music, you know, just be a fan, dude. You're not dating them. They're super cute and endearing, but like they're not your boyfriend. Like, yeah.
And to conclude, yeah.
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 Ooh, that
Is
was
that a good one?
That was a good one. All right. Well, this has been an excellent first episode with a guest. So thank you so much, Kelsey, for being my first guest. I love you so much. I miss you so much, obviously.
I miss you too.
And is there one more thing I'd like to ask you is now what would you like to be when you grow up?
Actually, for the last couple of days, I've like been really thinking about it. I really have like no plan if this music thing doesn't work out. And as much as I love music, I think what I really just want to do is like be stable financially enough to like own a home and care for my dog and the people around me. So I want to just be like happy when I grow up.
Yeah, that's a wonderful answer. I want that for you too.
Thanks. I want that for you.
Yeah, thanks.
I want that for you tomorrow. Like
Now.
right now.
Yeah. Everyone watching and or listening, thank you so much for being here for this vision quest that we went on today. We hope you enjoyed it.
Oh, what a good walk that was.
Ooh, feels so good in my joints.
So nice.
I love you all. Kelsey, I love you, obviously.
I love you too.
Please subscribe if you're watching on YouTube and give this a thumbs up if you like and or hate rainbows. And if you're listening on any kind of streaming device, I love it if you give me some kind of rating. 5 stars would be preferable, but like, let's
be honest.
Just be honest. Unless you think it sucked, then shut the fuck up.
Then you can get out of here, man. You should have clicked off a long time ago. Why are you listening to this still?
Yeah, if you're still listening to this and you hate this, well, you're obviously lying and you love this, because why would you do that to yourself?
We're just going to label you a hater and move on with our lives because we're so small in this universe and none of this matters.
Exactly. Everyone continue to stay safe. Stay hydrated. I'm going to take a big gulp into the microphone of my water.
Me too.
Yum. Kelsey's got a water bottle. Yum.
That gulp is weak.
Enjoy the rest of your day wherever you are. And I will be in your ears and or eyes very soon. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Bye.